Councillor Jolles, can you tell me why you, in particular, why you became a councillor here in Harlow?
Yes, I'm delighted to. When we came back to Harlow, after 20 years' absence, we were horrified to see how the town had deteriorated in those 20 years. And we felt that the only way to take action was, the most direct way, was to go into local politics and try to put our shoulder to the wagon and try to move it out of the mud. We attributed those 20 years to 47 years of continuous Labour rule, with a council that had such a majority that they could do almost anything, and they did many good things and many foolish things. So anyway, we thought that the people who were nearest to our view of what constituted common sense were the Conservatives. So, never having had a political position of any kind in all my life until then, I joined the Conservative Party. My wife followed soon after, and after 3 attempts to get elected, I was finally given a chance to have a go in Great Pondon. I was duly elected, and I've been a councillor in that ward ever since 2002, and that means I've been a councillor now for 11 years. My wife became a councillor for Old Harlow in 2004, so she's just 2 years behind me.
But this Harlow that you returned to in 1987,
Yes.
having been away since in 1967, you can't put down to whatever state you put it in down to Labour. You know,
No.
For a start, we'd also had 8 years by then, 8 years of Margaret Thatcher.
Well, I must say that Margaret Thatcher, with whatever sins she committed, she did cater for the aspirational working class and middle class, the salt of the earth people who do all the jobs, run the shops and the railways and everything. And she made it possible for people to buy their homes. And I must say that it produced a wave of home improvement. And by the way, among the first people who rushed to buy their council houses were the Labour councillors. I say that as an aside. No criticism of them. I'm all for people improving their conditions and status. And I simply say that it's hypocrisy to condemn sale of council houses on ideological grounds.
So Harlow you came back to in 1987. So the Harlow that you see in 2013, has it greatly improved since 1987?
Yes, I would say yes.
In what ways and why?
Matured. A lot of the people have grown up, matured. The old East Enders are fading away, and a new generation of hard-working people with, let's say, a much wider outlook has taken their place. And I'm really pleased with the way Harlow people are going now.
Can you understand, we've only put a story on this morning and we're not allowed to discuss the ins and outs of her case, but a lot of people still don't feel very safe in this town. Is that a perception, or do you think that's a reality?
I think it's much more perception than reality. There are some areas which are, let's say, hot spots of troublesome young people running a bit wild, but there are a lot less than they used to be, and the whole community seems to be much more aware, and things are being brought under control a lot more.
Back to the word community. Now, in a recent council meeting, you had I believe you had several concerns about community groups and communities not being recognised and tenants' organisations.
I have.
Well, can you just go over those concerns again?
Yes, I feel that the reaching out to the community from the council was well meant, and it had some teeth once. And they used to run area forums, but people became disillusioned with them because they felt that their concerns were either not being listened to or not being acted upon. And coming back to my reasons for being a councillor, that is to serve the residents and try and make sure that their complaints are heeded, and that the officials in the council know that the councillors at least are looking over their shoulder and watching what happens with residents' complaints. And I feel that maybe we haven't gone far enough with that. But at the present time, the community structure has taken a bad knock in 2005 when an austerity budget was produced, and the ward advisory groups were cut, the ward community partnerships were cut, which we had established in 2003 when there was a joint Conservative Lib Dem council. The following administration, which was joint Labour Lib Dem, cut all these structures away, and so the town-wide tenants advisory group also went up in smoke. And since then, a structure of tenant engagement and so on has been produced. I must remind you that the town are mainly homeowners and leaseholders rather than tenants. Tenants are now a minority in this town, but a very strong and very vocal minority, which we must take care of. We need to have our social housing and affordable housing. I hate the term affordable housing, it depends on what you can afford. But we need to be able to help people to get a home who cannot afford who cannot get the mortgages what mortgages are on offer today, even at the low rates of interest.
Council meeting, I look on the list, there are Labour councillors, I can see them, there are Conservative councillors, but you are independent.
Yes.
Haven't been independent for long. What's
No.
happened? What's gone wrong?
I wish I'd done it sooner, because the messages of encouragement and support that I've received since going independent have astonished me and very much heartened me and encouraged me to go further on this path, because I feel that being independent of any party dogma leaves me free to pursue the right thing as I see it, and to pursue common sense objectives and do the right thing.
So, but was there some sort of Pauline conversion to independence, or was it an event, or what happened?
It's been a long time coming, but it's always been my inclination. I've always been a bit of a rebel inside the Conservative group, and you could almost call me a socialist liberal conservative. For instance, I absolutely admire the cooperative movement, but of course I would never join with their politics. I like pragmatism, and I like things which are calculated to serve the electors, not things which are calculated to make the best PR impact.
When are you up for re-election? And when you are
Next May.
Next May. You standing?
That's a very, very tricky question, because I hadn't intended to announce so soon that I'll be standing. But let's say if I'm alive and well in March, April next year, I will be standing, yes.
But standing against, there'll probably be a Conservative.
I don't care. Standing on my merits in my ward, where I've done a lot of things for a lot of individuals.